Again, I think it's variable. I think that certainly some are, and I think that others are not. I'm really pleased to see that one of the themes or a lot of visibility at the conference is being given to strategic alliances and how well they work. I know from having developed a lot of different consortia in my own career that how well they work really depends on how committed the individual partners are, what they see as the incentives or the motivation or the benefits, and how hard they work to really work collaboratively, to share information and work together. So I think some of them are excellent. I'm hoping that those will really prove in. I'm hoping over the course of this conference we'll hear some data that really points to how compelling and successful they can be so that other partnerships will live up to their potential.
Strategic partnerships at one point started to be very popular, and it was the only thing you would see in cooperation between two companies. But then if one company A, changes the strategic partner 3 times in 5 years, you start questioning yourself whether is that a strategic partnership or is, what it is. So I think it's changing. It's changing definitely. I think there is more chance for smaller companies, for smaller partnerships, because at the end, I think it's important whether you get a good quality service, where it's the value of it, it's not costly for you, and you get a data fast as you want. Because if it's not fulfilling these 3 criteria, I'm not sure what is the value of having a strategic partnership.
So strategic partners in clinical trials are a great idea with a way to go. And to get further down the road is to have a more precise understanding of what the technology can and cannot do. And everyone's heard of redlining, where in the old days a bank would charge higher rates to certain people living in a bad neighborhood. And the question we have in today's world is bad algorithms. And when we're reusing data we have, is an algorithm that was designed for one purpose going to distort the data that we're getting and using for another purpose. So where we have to go is to make sure that the reuse of data for another purpose doesn't depend on its collection according to different criteria and attributes. That is a tough question from an IT point of view, but that is one of the key issues that will have to be solved going forward. And I spoke before about best of breed versus best practices. This is another area where this has come up, and the wheel does not have to be reinvented because other industries have faced this reuse problem.
Clinical trials is moving very quickly. Companies previously, they have their own resources, the project managers, the clinical monitors in-house. However, lots of companies are now outsourcing to contract research organizations, CROs. And looking at partnerships, the model has also shifted. Previously, it's fee for service. Project fee is given to the CRO on a per project basis. Some companies are strategically moving into different kind of alliance and partnerships with CROs. One challenge that companies need to keep in mind is that if they contract a CRO on a global basis from the headquarters, let's say in the US or Europe, it doesn't mean that the trial will be conducted very well in other parts of the world. So contracting with one CRO to do their global trial is insufficient. You need to think about the project team in the countries, whether they are up to speed, up to the quality of their global CRO's stance. Outcome studies based on patient ordering their own meals, engaging themselves in the process of their treatment is being captured within the infrastructure, within the database itself. So any company who wish to look into outcome research can actually data mine into Farrer Park Hospital's big data. This model, as I understand, meaning the five-star hotel, the hospital, and the specialist medical center all integrated into one, is a novel model within Asia, and I guess in other parts of the world. It can be replicated. However, the blueprint needs to be studied. The commitment of whoever who wants to put this in place has to be thought through, because it is a very well detailed, thought through process that makes this a reality.
The whole reason for strategic partnerships is to bring down the cost, to fasten the process to the market. And again, this is linked to patient centricity, because if someone is good at one thing, there's no point going and duplicating that thing. It's better to partner with a particular company who's already perfected it and use it to your strategic advantage.